I'm Dr. Benjamin F. Chavis Jr., and this is how to get your money right. How to Get Your Money Right welcomes one of the nation's most successful serial entrepreneurs, Roger Gore. Welcome to How to Get Your Money Right.
Thank you for inviting me on, Dr. Chavis. I'm excited about being here, and I can't wait to talk to you.
At what stage have your businesses, all the businesses you had, at what stage did they become profitable?
Somewhat different stages based on market, based on distribution, we would say. A lot of times if you're doing something smaller or more of a mom and pop conversation, meaning direct to the consumer, that could happen faster or longer, but we deal with distribution, big box stores, things like that. So some maybe 10 years, some 7, some still haven't become profitable, but they're on their way to become profitable because a lot of times it's your exit strategy and your blueprint, because profitability can come in how much market share, how much innovation you might have, and your exit strategy may bring you what your profit is, rather than making it during the scale of the business.
So having that entrepreneur plan, you know, you're not only talking about something, how to get started, but you already envision what your exit plan may be.
Exactly. Any entrepreneur, if you start a business, I call it the alpha and omega. You have to understand, you know, your beginning and your end. But in between that, the devil in the details, we want to call it, that's your plan. And my father used to always give me the stuff they would say in the military: plan your work, work your plan. So as you're working that plan, I tell people all the time, there's always going to be something in this plan that's not in this plan that's going to pop up, that's going to lead to your success. That's why you have to stay with it, because most people quit before that thing comes, and you're right there at it. So with more experience and more of us as entrepreneurs speaking to other people, we're teaching them, stick with it, stay with it, don't quit, because that thing is right there that's going to make you profitable, that's going to make you successful.
A lot of young people today say they want to stack their paper. How do you stack your paper?
The thing you have to look at, profits is the same in any industry. It's your cost minus your income leaves your profit. Focus on what you're spending, and as you focus on what you're spending, definitely focus on what you're keeping. That's your profit. And take your profits to make more profits. That's the thing we have to really teach, that profit should be invested in making more profit. So when you look at, as the kids say, stack your paper, it's not just about understanding that profit, understand how you get to that profit. Watch your expenses, make sure the money you're spending is going in areas that will help create the ROI, that profit.
What made you decide to become an entrepreneur?
Well, it stems from, I guess it's born in my blood. My grandfather on my mother's side, Reuben Hill, owned a farm, probably 60 or 70 acres, and sold vegetables and things like that. And on my father's side, it's called the Big Farm, and in Dawson, Georgia, they also had a farm and sold produce and things like that. And then my parents, my father's 3-war veteran, and when he retired, he started a business in doing home improvement. And my mother, same thing, when she retired, she started a business for childcare. So as I was coming through, I didn't know the word entrepreneur as much as I understood that they always had a business, and they were very successful at it.
So you come from a family of entrepreneurs?
A family of entrepreneurs, not knowingly, just it was the way of life. And you know, in those days, it was just how to make extra income, make ends meet, to make sure we had a life that we could excel in.
Mr. Gore, what was your first business?
Well, I won't say it was my first business, it was my introduction into the foundation of entrepreneurship. So I was an award-winning cosmetologist, and in the cosmetology industry behind the chair, there's no salary. So it's based on how you build clients, satisfy your clients, get repeat business, marketing, things like this. So you learn that if you don't are able to produce, then you don't eat, then there's no income. So that's the foundation of business normally, is how do you create sales, how do you create satisfied customers, how do you get repeat business. If you do something well and you develop it well and you practice and you know, it's great for your customers to say you're great, your friends, your family, but when the industry says you're great, then you tend to separate yourself immediately.
So you are now a manufacturer of products
Yes.
that are distributed in the healthcare industry.
Yes. Manufacturers work through distributors, or they call them cross-references, where you work with the big box stores. And the thing about manufacturing, the thing about products, the thing about entrepreneurship in the beauty industry is being a cosmetologist, being behind that chair, taught me so much that I had come to use to learn to excel in business, as well as being around my parents and watching them grow their businesses.
How receptive are customers and the users of your G Natural products? How's it doing in the marketplace?
So when we were behind the chair, a lot of products were chemical-based products, thioglycolate, sodium hydroxide, things like that. I wanted to create something natural, and this was really an untapped market. I called it a blue ocean back then. So you had to educate on herbal ingredients, on things that would add moisture to the hair, things that would promote hair growth, great for your hair, great for your scalp. And it made it more challenging, but I was up to the challenge. I enjoyed each time someone was convinced or came on board and started using the product. They told so many people because it was new. It was something that we wasn't currently using, and people tend to like the whole idea of the name. The name just popped, G Natural.
G Natural. You know, in today's world, particularly with the rise of environmentalism, the rise of things that are natural, things that are organic, and you seem to tap in at the right time with G Natural products.
Coming out in 1996 is that the industry, or of our industry, or just distribution and retail in general, didn't catch up to natural products till 2005, 2006. So the consumer actually drove the market, and it was a hidden market that they didn't see because people started walking away from chemical products, not as much as for the danger or as much as for the health reasons. It was just about embracing their natural hair texture. And later we learned what relaxers are causing cancer. So this kind of work that they were looking for companies that were already in the space. So maybe about 4 or 5 of us that were already in the space of creating natural products. And that's why we got on the shelf, and that's why we got exposure first, because the clients were coming in and there were no natural products in the stores.
That's a great transition. But I want to ask you, what was the threshold? What made you see and envision the profitability of natural products?
The thing I looked is that I started taking herbs at an early age, probably 91,
You
92.
took herbs?
Yeah, I was taking vitamins, herbal supplements at an early age. And when I thought about, well, if I wanted to really do something different, and I knew natural products, I've seen some that were out, I wanted to bring something natural to the market, because you have to always think, when you come into a market that might already be developed, what's the blue ocean? What's the advantage? What do you have that someone else doesn't have? And you have to build your brand based on that. So when I walked into salons and barbershops and things like this, and I started talking about our ingredients, they were very unfamiliar. And I got a chance to educate, and the results were there. So product has to be result driven, because with the education and being result driven and the marketing, you will soar.
I know a lot of entrepreneurs, and most entrepreneurs get in a pathway and kind of stay there. What makes you different, you have shift gears. After G Natural products, tell them how you got from these natural hair products and skin products to the spirits world.
Well, the pandemic is a big reason that this happened, and my philosophy in life is that you're going to always find something good in something bad. You have to find the silver lining in it. So while the pandemic was going on, it shut down the beauty industry altogether. Salons closed, barbershops closed, beauty salon closed, beauty supply stores closed. But Giants, because it's a grocery store, was open. So my brand was in big box stores, so I get to go out and service. As I went to go service the big box stores, I noticed that the liquor stores are all open. And I'm saying, wow, the thing in business is to find something that not can last 10 years, not can last 20 years, but can last forever.
Market demand.
Exactly. So when I got back, because you're going to be out for a few hours, you had to be back at a certain time, I thought to myself, you know something, I like to get in that business because I see that it's resilient. So I started thinking, what would I come out with for wine? Too many people had wine to me. I looked at what the trend was. I'm great at following trends and finding trends. And I looked at vodka was the #1 spirit sold in the world. So if I'm going to do this, I'm going to start with the #1 spirit, and that's going to be a vodka.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Wes Moore, and I am a fan of not just Roger and the brand Alizar Vodka, but also just a huge fan of what he's doing for the community. So God bless you.
So now you're in G Natural Spirits. Explain how you made this transition from one natural line of products to another line of natural products.
Research is always the key, and you made a great point, is that I took my experience from cosmetology and being a barber. I was an award-winning stylist. I won awards when I was in beauty school. I won awards as a stylist. So I know that because if you do something well and you develop it well and you practice and you know, it's great for your customers to say you're great, your friends, your family, but when the industry says you're great, then you tend to separate yourself immediately. So when I looked at doing the vodka, I had to decide that we're going to do a potato base, corn base like this. Corn to me was more attractive because of the taste, the finished product, as well as it makes it gluten-free. So the health part jumps in that it's a gluten-free product. The other thing that we wanted to do was make a premium vodka. We didn't want to make a low-end, low-quality vodka. So it's 100 proof, which is unusual. Most vodkas are around 80 proof. We made a 100 proof vodka. It's incredibly smooth. And the next thing is to do just like I did in the cosmetology industry. How do we get the industry, based on what we put into this brand, to recognize it? Because then you got so many vodkas in the marketplace. What makes this different? So we entered the world largest spirit competition, and 2 months later, we found out we won triple gold across the board. Well, the thing we try to set as an example, and that's what we learn from your excellence, from those that have come before us. And our parents raised us that way, is that how do you strive to be the best?
You have a passion for excellence. When you were in cosmetology, when you were doing other beauty products, now you're in the spirits world. Like I said, you wanted to start at the top. You wanted to make the best vodka spirit out there in the market. Where does this striving for excellence come from?
It comes from home. I have to give my parents that credit, my grandparents. There were no summer camps when we grew up. They send you either to Virginia to work in the country or to Florida to work in the country. They were excellence driven, how you did something. And then when it came to my parents at home, the same thing. You couldn't just make your bed up, do this, halfway do something. My father was military, so you know how that mentality is.
Discipline.
Discipline. And my mother was from, again, a Southern family. So your bed had to be right, your room had to be clean. They give you little things to remember every place. Everything has a place, things like this. So you're driven, and your parents, and when I got into school, same thing. My father motivated me by saying, if you get A's, you can ask for anything you want. Nothing outrageous, but if you get A's. So I was an A student, and my father kept his word. Whatever I asked for, not nothing deep, back then bicycles and stuff, he would take care of it. So as I learned the reward from excellence, and it separates you, the school started asking me to do things they didn't ask other students to do, but it was based on my grades and my attitude, which I got from my upbringing. So when I got into the cosmetology industry, I just took all of that with me and knew that I had to separate myself. So I had to do it based on excellence, constantly practicing what I'm doing, marketing research, and I took the same thing into the spirits business, is that I have to look at how do we create something that is excellence, represents excellence.
Studies have shown that mediocrity has set in.
Yeah.
People don't strive for excellence as much as they used to because they are trying just to make ends meet, just trying to get to the middle, break even in businesses. How is your passion to strive for excellence overcoming the mediocrity that seems to be so prevalent in American society?
Well, the thing we try to set as an example, and that's what we learn from your excellence, from those that have come before us, and our parents raised us that way, is that how do you strive to be the best? MLK said it best: if you're going to be a street sweeper, sweep the streets like Michelangelo paints paintings.
That's
there
right.
You go.
I work with Dr. King. You couldn't work around him if you didn't strive for excellence.
Exactly.
Even in the most mundane things, be an excellence at that.
So our culture before us, or our generation before us, is the one that trains us. So my family, from the greatest generation, because my parents are much older, father born in 25, mother born in 1928, they are of excellence, and it was across the board. Your neighbors, same thing. Everybody was based on excellence. So we have to take some ownership in that somewhere down the line we dropped the ball, where we wanted to make you feel accepted just being whatever, it's okay. That has its place, but not when it comes to building a community, building a business. You want to be based and train people on excellence. How do you be your best? You're designed to be better, more excellence, but it comes from home. The parents, the generation that surround us, has to get back into saying excellence is okay.
You were an A student in school. You know, sometimes today, A students are criticized, ostracized. They're referred to as nerds. Tell us the importance of trying to be at the top of your class rather than just making the class.
The thing I looked when I was coming through, it really was to impress my mom and my dad, make them happy that I was doing my best in school. And I wasn't always—
So you wanted to make your parents happy, not just yourself happy.
'Cause most times, children, you base things on with reflection of your parents. You don't get to the point where you make yourself happy yet, because you're living in their realm, their rules. And I can remember getting I hope I drift for a second, a great lesson from my mom, because I wasn't always that student that pursued excellence. So when we got busted, we had to go to another school, and it was a majority white school, and I was young, trying to fit in and be the cool kid in class and joke and laugh and things like that. And the teacher was like, "I'm going to call your mom," and I'm like, "Well, okay." And the kids are like, "Roger's so cool." And then one day my mom just showed up, and I was like, "Wow." And then it was so funny that she didn't call me up front or take me outside. She came to the back of the class and grabbed me and dragged me all the way to the front. Beat me in front of the entire class, in front of the teacher.
What grade were you in when that happened?
I was in fourth grade, maybe third grade then, and—
So your mother took charge.
Oh, and I couldn't figure out where she got the belt from. She's beating me with a belt. So when she finished, she looked at the teacher and said, "If you have any more problems out of him, please give me a call." But the whole time she's beating me, she's telling me how I'm making her look bad, and she raised me better and things like that. That next day, I was an idle student. I was a perfect student. I never drifted after that,
Today, what you experienced probably wouldn't be allowed in today's public schools. But you do make a very important point of parental involvement in education, parental involvement in what happens in the classroom, parental involvement in what happens in the way the schools are administrated. Just using your own lived experience, what would you say to the education system today to prepare young people not only to be academically talented, striving for excellence, but also knowing how to do something with your hands from a particular vocation?
Yeah, you can't do it alone. We put so much on the educational system, but if the parents are not involved, if we don't have this consensus in our community and environment that we get our kids to school to be better, to be trained to be something. We have vocational in our high school. So you could leave high school with a certification in automotive, ductwork, metal sheet. I was in computer science in our school. So the thing is, we have to get back to the parents have to get more involved and have to give the teachers and give the principals in the school a kid that's ready to learn. Not coming here and act like you're something that you're not, and then you're disrupting everybody else, making everybody dummy down. If you put the wrong people on the mic and in the front, it looks bad. If you put the right people on the mic in the front, it looks great. We have to continue to put the right people like yourself on the mic in the front so we can see the optimism and the tools that's coming along.
Based on your present day success, what's your forecast for the future in terms of your own business, but encouraging others to consider becoming an entrepreneur?
You have to create something first and foremost that's in the blue ocean. And not just create something that's in the blue ocean, create something that can last more than 10.
Now, you use this term blue ocean several times. To explain what you mean by blue ocean.
So in marketing terms or in strategy terms, when it comes to entrepreneurship, a blue ocean is something that's large, that it's no one has found that area yet. It's not crowded, it's not a crowded space. And if it is a crowded space, whatever you create has to fall into that category of blue ocean. Where it's going to be better in the future is if you create the blue ocean, look at the tools you have. Look at the AI that's coming along that can assist you in from strategizing to content to marketing development, everything. So they have tools that we never had access to. I'm learning. I'm a student of future, so I'm always learn what's new and use it. But they're coming to the table with this information. They're coming to the table with the same needs. We're going to always have hair. We'll always drink spirits. It's certain things we're going to always do. Use the tools today, and you're seeing so many entrepreneurs come out. Everybody has their own show now. If you got a mic and a phone, you got a show. You're an entrepreneur. But what they have to learn is something I call social media rich. You can't be social media rich. That's just rich on camera. That's just rich on social media. You want to take social media and convert it, make the cash register ring, and then that's when you're going to have something. But if you put a product into it, a service, and use the tools today, when I say you will be through the atmosphere, the stratosphere, we haven't seen it yet. We look at the Jeff Bezos, Louis Vuitton, those people, they've reached that level. These kids coming up with these tools will go 10 times further than where we are.
So you're optimistic about the future?
Oh, definitely. If you put the wrong people on the mic and in the front, it looks bad. If you put the right people on the mic in the front, it looks great. We have to continue to put the right people like yourself on the mic in the front so we can see the optimism and the tools that's coming along. Social media right now, with the wrong people on it, is being used, like I say, spill the tea, all these things. I'm not against it. However you come up with your entrepreneurial spirit and what you want to do, but these tools that are coming out, to me, have been created to eradicate poverty. It gives the little person, it gives the small person, not small, little, I've got, but it gives the person that may not have the income, let me say it that way, the opportunity, which all you need is become who they want to be and to make money from it.
Most of the books on the New York Times bestseller list are how-to books. So I want to know, when are we going to have the Roger Gore How to Be an Entrepreneur book?
I have to put that together. I try to educate as much as I can while I'm out and I'm talking to people and doing events, doing shows like this. One day I do want to do something where I can put what I know 30, 40 years into publication and say, hey, here's a little roadmap you can use, because I teach people, you got to have a blueprint. If you're not following something, do not build these companies for yourself. That's not what they're for. You have to build a company that has a market that somebody at some time can purchase it. Because you want to take the money from the purchase and build wealth in your family. Because the company, it can't stay yours forever. You're building something for the market to enjoy, for people to enjoy. So build something that you know that somebody will buy eventually. That's your exit strategy.
Roger Gore, serial entrepreneur, thank you for joining How to Get Your Money Right.
Thank you for inviting me. I really enjoyed it.